Okay, good morning. This lesson will be about rational algebraic expressions. So how are we going to simplify, or before simplifying, how are we going to determine if what's given is considered a rational algebraic expression. Okay, so let's recall that for the rational algebraic expression, so we could have that as RAE. Okay, it's written in the form. It's written in the form n over d, where n and d are both polynomials. Okay? So in short, yung ating rational algebraic expressions is simply a ratio of two polynomials. Okay? So first, let us recall how are we going to know if a given algebraic expression is a polynomial or not. So let's have a polynomial or not a polynomial. Uy, lumayo siya. Okay, so let's have our examples here. So alamin natin if it's a polynomial or not a polynomial. So example, if you have x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, so let's check our exponents. Kailangan yung exponents natin ay whole numbers. So, tama yan. Positive. Exponent nito, may 1 yan, right? So, it's also a whole number. And then for this, of course, the exponent for this is 0. So, 0 is still a whole number. Okay, so therefore, this is considered a polynomial. Okay. Then another example. If you have say negative 4x squared plus 3x raised to negative 1. Okay, so we're going to check the exponents of our variable. So it's 2, pwede. Okay, but this one, okay, this would tell us that the whole algebraic expression is not a polynomial. Okay? Because if you're going to recall what a polynomial is, kailangan yung exponents ng polynomial natin ay whole numbers. Okay? And then, the variables could it be inside a radical sign or hindi siya pwede maging denominator. Okay? Like this one. If you are given, say, 5x raised to 1/2 plus 2x squared. Okay? If you look at our first term here, the exponent of x is a fraction. O, dun pa lang, you could already say that this is not a polynomial. Okay? Another example, if you have, say, the square root of 8x plus 2x. Okay? So, ito pa lang, may radical. May radical sign tayo. Then, inside may variable. So, ibig sabihin, this is not a polynomial. Okay? So, you have to make sure first that for our rational algebraic expressions, the numerator and the denominator should be both polynomials. Okay? So, let's have examples. Ayan. Some examples here. Number 1. So tell if it's a rational algebraic expression or not. Okay, so is it an RAE or not? Not a rational algebraic expression. Okay, so let's start with x plus 2 over x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay? So, check natin yung taas. Okay? Si x plus 2. Okay, it's a polynomial, right? It's a polynomial. And then the denominator, let's check. It's also a polynomial. Ayan. Polynomial siya. So, therefore, we have a ratio of 2 polynomials. Therefore, itong buong to is considered a rational algebraic expression. Okay? Next. If you have, say, x squared plus 4x over negative x raised to 4 plus x raised to 1/2. So let's check the numerator. Okay, the numerator has variables with exponents that are whole numbers. Therefore, polynomial yan. Ang ating numerator is a polynomial. But if you check for the denominator, although the first term ay pasado. Pasado siya because the exponent is a whole number, which is 4. But the second term has a variable with an exponent that is a fraction. Therefore, this is not a polynomial. Since the denominator is not a polynomial, therefore, itong buong algebraic expression na to is not a rational algebraic expression. Okay? So, ganyan lang. Ganyan lang gagawin. You determine if it's a rational algebraic expression or not. For you to know, you have to check first if the numerator is a polynomial and the denominator is a polynomial, then you are having a rational algebraic expression. But if the numerator is not a polynomial and the denominator is even if the denominator is a polynomial, it is still not a rational algebraic expression. Okay? So, pag may isa lang dyan, numerator or denominator or both na hindi polynomial, hindi na agad siya rational algebraic expression. Okay? So, let's proceed with simplifying. Okay? Let's simplifying rational algebraic expressions. Okay, lagyan natin ng apostrophe S kasi plural. Okay, how would we simplify rational algebraic expressions? So, dapat marunong pa rin kayong mag-factor ng ating polynomials. Right? So, if you are asked to simplify x plus 2 over x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay? So, apply natin dito yung how we simplify fractions. So, recall kayo dito, how would you simplify fractions? So, if you are given 12 over 36, so how would you simplify that? Okay, pwede kayong hanapin yung GCF ng numerator at sa denominator, or you can apply prime factorization. So, ano yung factors ni 12? So, yung 12 natin, so we can factor that as 2 times 6, and then 6 can be factored as 2 times 3. So, for 12, that could be 2 times 2 times 3, right? And then for 36, ayan, prime factorization. So, 6 times 6 is 36. Then for 6, that's 2 times 3. That's 2 times 3. So, you have 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And then, you have 2 divided by 2. That would just be 1. So, 1 na lang yan. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So, sa numerator, matitira ay 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. Sa denominator, 1 times 1 times 1 times 3, which is 3. So, you are left with 1/3. Ito na yung simplest form niya. So, that would be your final answer. But for this example here, Okay? Kung titingnan nyo, yung numerator natin, it cannot be simplified anymore. It cannot be factored. Okay? Hindi na siya mga factor. Nasa simplest form na siya. So, we simply copy that. That's x plus 2. But if you check out the denominator, which is a polynomial, polynomial si numerator and denominator, ha? Makikita nyo na pwede siyang i-factor. Okay? So, factors for this would be, hanapin nyo yung factors ni 6. Okay? Factors ni C. This is your letter C na pagka i-add mo equal kay B, which is 5. So, anong factors ni 6 na pag i-add equal kay 5? So, it's the number 2 and 3, right? And then you would just write x plus 3 times x plus 2. Okay? So, na-factor natin ang tama yan. And you notice, sa taas may x plus 2. So, x plus 2 divided by itself, ayan, that's 1. Therefore, ang matitira ay 1 over x plus 3. So, this would be your final answer. Okay? So, another example here could be 4a squared minus 9b squared all over 2a plus 3b. Okay? So, pag meron tayong ganyan, check muna natin kung polynomial sa taas. So, yes, it's a polynomial. Denominator, is the denominator polynomial? It is. So, this is an RAE. So, we have the difference of two squares here. How do we factor the difference of two squares? We just get the square root of the first term. So, that's 2a. And the square root of the second term. So, that is 3b. And then you write them as a sum and difference. So, 2a tsaka 3b. So, kung dito mag-plus ka, so dito minus, right? And then sa baba, you have denominator, you have 2a plus 3b. So, notice that divide it with itself, that's equal to 1. So, your final answer here would be 2a minus 3b. Okay? So, ganyan lang siya. Example, if you have, say, x squared plus 4x plus 4 over, let's have x squared minus 4. Okay? So, yung nasa numerator, that is a perfect square trinomial. How would you know? Okay, you get the square root of the first term, that's x, right? Square root of the last term is 2. And then, you multiply the square roots of the first and the last term, it's 2x. Then, you double it or multiply with 2. Okay, twice. Dapat yung gitna. So, pasado. So, maging 2x times 2 is 4x. So, therefore, this is a perfect square trinomial. So, ang factor lang natin dyan is you get the square root of the first term and then plus the square root of the last term. So, bakit plus? Kasi ang middle term natin ay positive. And then, the quantity squared. Tapos, sa baba, difference of two squares. So, square root of x is, square root of x squared is x. Square root of 4 is 2. And then, you write it as a sum and difference. So, kung ito yung plus mo, ito yung minus mo. Okay, so we can expand that. Pwede natin ma-expand as x plus, or we can write it like this. Okay, x plus 2 times x plus 2. Hindi pala expand ang dapat sinabi ko. Okay, write natin as factors of itself. Ayan. So we have x plus 2 times x minus 2. And then, cancel natin yung parehas kasi that's equal to 1. What's left is x plus 2 over x minus 2. This would be your final answer. Hindi ka na pwedeng mag-simplify dyan because they are separated by an addition and a subtraction. Pwede ka lang magka-cancel out kapag multiplication yung operation between the two expressions. Okay? So, yan. So, this would be your final answer. Yan. So, we have 3 examples and then I hope nakatulong to para maintindihan nyo paano mag-simplify ng rational algebraic expressions. I would be recording another video for more examples. Okay, different examples na mga examples na nabigay ko dito. That would be all for today.